The massive hunting vessel emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system, its metallic hull gleaming under the distant sunlight. Inside, Master Hunter Gray stood at the observation deck, his scaled hands clasped behind his back as he studied the blue-green planet ahead. "Another death world," he rumbled, four eyes blinking in sequence, "perfect for our next hunt." Behind him, 5 other hunters from different species prepared their gear. Each one represented the apex predators of their own worlds, brought together by their shared passion for hunting the most dangerous creatures in the galaxy. Master Gray called out Hunter Red, her feathered crest rising with excitement as she checked the ship's sensors. "The readings from this planet are unusual. The atmosphere is highly corrosive, oxygen content at 21%, surface gravity at 9.8 meters per second squared. And the temperature variations." She paused, mandibles clicking. "Some regions swing from 50 degrees above freezing to 50 degrees below." Gray's outer membrane rippled with pleasure. After 300 years of hunting across the galaxy, he had grown bored with easy prey. "Excellent. Any signs of life?" "Abundant," answered Hunter Black, his crystalline body reflecting the starlight. "But there's something else." He adjusted the sensors. Energy signatures, advanced ones, suggesting civilization. The hunters gathered around the display, their diverse forms casting strange shadows on the deck. The screen showed clusters of lights spanning entire continents, organized in patterns too regular to be natural. "Impossible," muttered Hunter White, his gelatinous form pulsing with confusion. No species could evolve intelligence in such harsh conditions. The oxygen alone would cause cellular breakdown in most species. Gray checked his hunting armor, the latest model, capable of withstanding everything from extreme temperatures to acid rain. "Whatever lives down there must be incredibly resilient. Perfect for our collection." The ship's AI spoke up, its voice echoing through the chamber. "Warning. Detecting artificial satellites in orbit. Primitive communications technology. Recommendation. Enable stealth systems. Primitives with satellites." Hunter Green's photosynthetic tendrils curled with amusement. "This should be interesting." Gray activated the ship's cloaking device, making them invisible to the primitive scanning systems below. "We'll land in one of the less populated areas. Study the local wildlife first." The hunting vessel descended through the atmosphere, its advanced shields protecting it from the caustic oxygen environment. They chose a landing spot in a heavily forested region, far from the larger energy signatures. As the ship settled on the ground, the hunters performed their final equipment checks. Each wore specialized armor suited to their species, enhanced with the latest hunting technology. Their weapons, a mix of energy-based and traditional, were designed to take down everything from microscopic threats to gigantic creatures. "Remember," Gray addressed his team, "this is a death world. Everything here has evolved to survive in extreme conditions. Treat every creature as potentially lethal." The ship's outer door opened with a soft hiss, letting in the first breath of Earth's air. Their filters immediately began processing the oxygen-rich atmosphere. The hunters stepped out into the forest, their sensors actively scanning for threats. "The gravity is stronger than expected," noted Hunter Red, adjusting her movement systems. "And look at the plant life," Black added, studying the trees. "They're extracting carbon from the very air. These organisms are practicing molecular manipulation as a basic survival strategy." Gray held up his hand for silence. His sensors had detected movement nearby. Something large was approaching through the undergrowth. The hunters readied their weapons, expecting their first encounter with one of this death world's apex predators. Instead, a human couple emerged from the trees, wearing hiking gear and carrying primitive backpacks. They froze at the sight of the aliens, their eyes widening. "Just some local herbivores." Gray dismissed them, lowering his weapon. "Let's move on. We're here to find this planet's true predators." It would be the worst mistake of his 300-year hunting career. The hiking couple didn't run. This surprised Master Hunter Gray, who had seen countless prey species flee at first sight of his hunting party. Instead, the male human pulled out a small device and began recording while the female spoke into another device. "Fascinating behavior," Hunter Red whispered. "They're documenting us instead of fleeing. Perhaps they're too simple to understand danger." The hunters moved past the humans, heading deeper into the forest. Their sensors picked up a small settlement ahead, a cluster of wooden structures that seemed impossibly primitive compared to their own technology. "These can't be the builders of those satellites," Hunter Black said, his crystalline form reflecting the morning sunlight. "Look at their dwellings. They're made of dead plant matter." Gray checked his scanner again. "The settlement has basic power signatures, some form of primitive electrical grid." He turned to his team. "We'll observe them, learn their patterns, then find the real predators of this world." From their hidden positions, the hunters watched as humans went about their daily routines. They saw children playing in open areas, elderly humans walking slowly along paths, and others tending to small gardens. "Their young are completely exposed," Hunter Green noted, tendrils waving in confusion. "No protective shells, no defensive spines, not even basic armor. How has this species survived?" Hunter White's gelatinous form rippled with contempt. "Perhaps they breed quickly enough that losing their young doesn't matter." As the day progressed, one particular human caught Gray's attention. An older male who moved with unusual grace despite his age. Unlike the others, this one seemed constantly aware of his surroundings. "That one," Gray pointed. "He moves differently. Let's harvest it for study." Hunter Red raised her weapon, aiming at the human identified as their target. The energy weapon hummed quietly as it charged. The older human, Jack, had spent 30 years in military special operations before retiring to this quiet mountain town. The moment he heard the unfamiliar hum, his combat instincts kicked in. He dove behind a thick tree trunk, just as the energy bolt scorched the air where he had stood. "Impossible," Red screeched. "No prey species can react that fast." Jack's voice carried clearly through the forest. "This is Colonel Jack Marshall, United States Army, retired. You just committed an act of war against a sovereign nation." He spoke calmly, professionally, even as he pulled out his personal communicator. "I strongly suggest you stand down." The hunters laughed in their various ways. Gray stepped forward, his massive form towering over the tree line. "Brave little herbivore. Your primitive weapons can't harm our advanced shields." A small metallic object arced through the air, landing near the hunters. Gray looked at it curiously. "That's not a weapon," Hunter Black said, scanning it. "It's just a small metal container with basic explosive." The flashbang grenade detonated. The hunters' sensitive sensory organs, evolved for peak hunting efficiency, were overwhelmed. Their advanced shields, designed to stop energy weapons and projectiles, did nothing against the sound and light. As the hunters stumbled in confusion, military drones appeared overhead. They had been stationed nearby ever since the first hiking couple reported the alien presence. Within minutes, black helicopters appeared on the horizon. "Impossible," Gray gasped, still disoriented. "Their response time, their organization." Jack's voice came again, now backed by the sound of approaching vehicles and aircraft. "Let me explain something about humans. We're not prey. We've never been prey. We're the ones other animals run from." The hunters found themselves surrounded by human military forces. Their sensors, still recovering from the flashbang, detected more units approaching from all directions. The humans moved with practiced precision, their primitive projectile weapons trained on vital points of the hunter's armor. Gray realized, too late, that they had made a terrible mistake. These weren't simple herbivores. The entire time his team had been hunting for this world's apex predators, they had been walking among them. And now, they were the ones being hunted. Admiral Stone stood in the command center, watching multiple screens showing the alien hunters from different angles. Military units had completely surrounded the area, while stealth satellites tracked the aliens' cloaked ship. Interesting, he said, studying the aliens' bio-readings. They're apex predators from their own worlds, but they've never met anything quite like us. Master Hunter Gray and his team stood in defensive positions, their advanced weapons pointed at the human forces. Their shields flickered with power, ready to stop any energy weapon attacks. But the humans weren't using energy weapons. Your primitive projectile weapons can't hurt us, Gray announced, his voice carrying across the clearing. Our shields can stop anything you throw at us. A young soldier whispered to Jack, who had been given tactical command of the ground forces. Sir, why are they just standing there? Any prey animal would have tried to run by now. Jack smiled. Because they're predators. They don't know how to be prey. He raised his voice. Last chance to surrender, visitors. We don't want bloodshed, but we will defend ourselves. Hunter Red's feathers bristled with amusement. Defend yourselves. You think you're the threat here? She aimed her weapon at a military vehicle. Let us demonstrate our superior. The crack of a sniper rifle echoed through the forest. The bullet, a simple lead projectile, passed straight through Red's energy shield, which was designed to stop plasma and energy weapons, not physical objects. She fell, purple blood seeping from her shoulder. Impossible. Hunter Black's crystalline form vibrated with shock. Their weapons are just metal and chemicals. Gray activated his advanced scanner, finally taking a proper reading of the humans surrounding them. What he saw made his outer membrane pale. Their muscles, their bone density, their neural response times. Sir, Hunter White's gelatinous form pulsed with fear. These readings can't be right. According to this, they're pursuit predators. What's a pursuit predator? A human soldier asked Jack. It means we don't ambush or use poison like most predators, Jack explained, keeping his rifle trained on the aliens. We chase our prey until it collapses from exhaustion. Most animals can outrun humans, but nothing can outlast us. The aliens watched in growing horror as more human forces arrived. Helicopters circled overhead, their simple rotor systems somehow more terrifying than any anti-gravity technology. Hunter Green's tendrils curled in distress. Master Gray, their body temperature regulation is unlike anything we've seen. They're sweating, using their own body moisture to cool themselves. They can maintain pursuit for days. Gray took a step back, his 4 eyes scanning for escape routes. But the humans have positioned themselves perfectly, cutting off all retreat paths. Their primitive but effective tactics showed centuries of warfare experience. Your ship is also surrounded. Admiral Stone's voice came through their communication systems. Yes, we can see it despite the cloaking. We've been watching you since you entered our solar system. The scanners, Black whispered. They showed satellites. We thought they were primitive, but they were just the visible ones. A human in a formal uniform approached under guard. I'm Dr. Adams, cynobiologist. We've studied your biology while you were studying ours. You're all ambush predators, built for short, powerful bursts of activity. But humans? He smiled. We can keep going for days. Our ancestors chased antelope until their hearts gave out. The truth hit Gray like a physical blow. His team had traveled the galaxy, hunting the deadliest creatures they could find. But they had never encountered anything like humans, predators who combined intelligence with unstoppable endurance. We surrender, Gray announced, lowering his weapons. We clearly made a grave error in judgment. Jack nodded to his troops, who moved in to secure the aliens. You're not the first to make that mistake, he said. But you're lucky. You're the first to survive it. In orbit, Earth's hidden defense fleet decloaked around the Hunter ship, revealing just how prepared humanity had been all along. In a secure military facility deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Adams and his team worked through the night, studying the data from the captured alien ship. The Hunters, now prisoners, watched in disbelief as humans easily navigated their supposedly advanced technology. They're reading our data crystals, Hunter Black said to Gray. How? They've never seen this technology before. Dr. Adams looked up from his workstation. Pattern recognition. It's another hunting trait we developed. Humans are extremely good at finding patterns. It helped us track prey by following footprints and predicting animal movements. Gray's outer membrane rippled with newfound respect and fear. You tracked animals by following marks on the ground, even before you had technology. Not just tracks, Jack added, entering the room with Admiral Stone. We learned to read the stars for navigation, predict weather patterns, and understand seasonal changes, all to become better hunters. Admiral Stone placed a tablet on the table, showing the aliens their own classified files about Earth. Now, explain why your Galactic Federation marked our planet as Death World Plus, but never contacted us. The hunters looked at each other nervously before Gray spoke. Death worlds are planets too dangerous to colonize. Extreme gravity, aggressive life forms, deadly atmospheres. But your Earth, he paused, all four eyes blinking. It's the only planet we found where the dominant species evolved as pursuit predators. Dr. Adams pulled up images from the alien database. Creatures from 1,000 worlds filled the screens, some with massive claws, others with venomous spikes, many with incredible strength or speed. All ambush predators, Gray explained. They attack quickly and kill quickly. But humans, he shuddered. You never stop coming. Even without your technology, you can pursue prey for days. No other species has such endurance. The room fell silent as surveillance footage played from the hunters' own recordings. It showed humans doing everyday things. Children playing soccer for hours, marathon runners covering massive distances, cyclists climbing mountains. Your young train for endurance from an early age, Hunter White observed, his gelatinous form quivering. Even your recreation is based on outlasting others. Admiral Stone nodded. We turned our hunting instincts into sports, but we never lost the skills that made us apex predators. He pointed to another screen showing archaeological data. Your scans of our planet revealed our history, didn't they? Gray lowered his head. Yes, you survived multiple extinction events, ice ages, massive climate changes, super predators. Most species would have died out. But humans, he looked up at the gathered people. You adapted. You became stronger. You learned to hunt in any environment. Dr. Adams pulled up the Galactic Federation's classification system. Earth's rating put it above even the most dangerous known worlds. You thought we were primitive because we didn't have your advanced technology, he said, but we developed something far more powerful, the ability to outlast any opponent. The Federation needs to know about this. Hunter Green's tendrils waved anxiously. Humans aren't just another species. You're the only creatures we've ever found who evolved specifically to exhaust your prey to death. Jack smiled. You make it sound so dramatic. We just never learned to quit. Admiral Stone studied the alien star charts. Your Federation spans thousands of worlds. Yet you've never encountered anything like us. Never, Gray confirmed. Most predators rely on natural weapons, claws, fangs, venom. But humans, he gestured to the people in the room. You turned your entire bodies into weapons. Your throwing skills alone make you deadly at a distance. No other species can throw with such force and accuracy. Dr. Adams saved another file from the alien database. According to this, Earth isn't just a death world. We're classified as a predator forge, a planet that produces apex hunters. Yes, Gray said quietly. And now that we found you, the galaxy will never be the same. 1 week after the hunters' capture, representatives from Earth's major nations gathered at a secure facility to watch a demonstration. Through the facility's reinforced windows, they could see a simple test arranged on the grounds outside. Dr. Adams stood before the assembled leaders, with the alien hunters secured nearby. Today, we'll demonstrate why humans terrify our galactic visitors. In the test area, a soldier named Tom stood calmly, wearing simple exercise clothes. Beside him, Hunter Red, now recovered from her wound, wore her full combat armor. A simple race, Admiral Stone explained. 3 miles through rough terrain. Our visitors insisted on this demonstration to prove their speed superiority. Red's feathers bristled with confidence. On my world, I can outrun any prey. Your soldier won't even see me once I start. Tom stretched casually, smiling. That's kind of the point, isn't it? At the signal, Red burst into motion. Her enhanced armor and natural speed sent her flying across the terrain. Within seconds, she was almost out of sight. Tom simply started jogging at a steady pace. Observe, Dr. Adams said to the gathered leaders. Hunter Red, like most galactic predators, relies on burst speed. Tremendous acceleration, but on the monitors tracking both participants' vital signs, Red's readings began to fluctuate. Her initial burst of speed was already costing her. Meanwhile, Tom's readings remained steady, his breathing and heart rate perfectly controlled. Humans are unique, Gray explained to the astonished audience. Your bodies don't just move, they regulate temperature through sweating, maintain steady oxygen intake, and constantly adjust for maximum efficiency. After the first mile, Red's pace had dropped significantly. She looked back to see Tom maintaining the same steady pace, barely breathing hard. His eyes remained locked on her, tracking her movement. This is how our ancestors hunted, Jack explained to the aliens. We didn't need to be the fastest. We just needed to keep going until our prey couldn't run anymore. By the second mile, Red was struggling. Her advanced armor, designed for short bursts of combat, now hindered her movement. Tom had closed half the distance, his steady pace unchanged. Impossible, Hunter Black whispered. He's not even using technology, just his natural abilities. Dr. Adams nodded. Bipedal movement, efficient breathing, sweat glands for cooling, and a mind designed to track prey. We're evolution's perfect endurance hunters. Near the end of the third mile, Red stumbled and fell. Her body, built for ambush hunting, had failed her. She looked up to see Tom jogging toward her, still maintaining the same pace he'd started with. He stopped beside her, not even breathing heavily. Need a hand up. In the observation room, the world leaders murmured among themselves. Admiral Stone turned to Gray. Now do you understand? We don't have natural weapons like your species. We didn't need them. We just needed to be able to keep going. Your persistence, Gray said quietly, it explains so much about your species. Your wars, your exploration, your technological development. You never stop. You never give up. Dr. Adams displayed more data from the alien archives. According to your records, most intelligent species took tens of thousands of years to develop spaceflight after achieving civilization. Humans did it in less than a century. Because you chase your goals like you chase prey, Hunter Green's tendrils waved in understanding, with relentless determination. Outside, Tom helped Red back to the facility. She had barely covered the distance that human children ran daily for school sports. The galaxy has never seen anything like you, Gray admitted. Most species expand through overwhelming force or superior technology. But humans, he looked at the assembled leaders. You'll chase your dreams across the stars just like your ancestors chased prey across the plains. Admiral Stone smiled. That's the thing about humans, whether it's running a marathon, building a civilization, or reaching the stars. He looked out at the vast sky above. We always keep going. The world leaders began their discussions, planning humanity's first steps into a galaxy it was just beginning to realize what it had discovered. The Galactic Federation's Grand Council chamber fell silent as the transmission from Earth played on the massive screens. Thousands of alien representatives watched the human endurance demonstration, seeing Hunter Red, one of their most accomplished predator species, defeated by a simple human stamina. Council Elder Dawn, her crystalline form glowing with concern, addressed the chamber. After 50,000 years of peaceful expansion, we face an unprecedented situation. We have discovered a species that hunts through persistence. The chamber erupted in worried discussions. On a raised platform, Master Hunter Gray and his surviving team stood as witnesses. "The humans did not kill us," Gray announced, silencing the chamber. "They could have. Instead, they chose to teach us, to show us why they are different." A hologram appeared above the council floor, showing human children playing tag. Another showed marathon runners. A third displayed soldiers on a training march. "Even their young train in persistence," Hunter White explained. "Their entire culture is built around pushing limits, going further, lasting longer." The council's security chief, a massive creature evolved from ambush predators, stepped forward. "Surely we can contain them. Their technology is primitive compared to ours." Gray's outer membrane rippled with dark amusement. "We thought the same. Our shields were useless against their simple projectile weapons. While we relied on advanced technology, they mastered the basics of warfare." New images appeared: human special forces training, mountain climbers scaling impossible heights, deep-sea divers exploring ocean trenches. "They adapt to any environment," Hunter Green added. "Cold, heat, high pressure, low oxygen. Humans find a way to survive and thrive. And they never stop improving." On Earth, Admiral Stone and Dr. Adams watched the council proceedings through the Hunter's communication link. World leaders gathered around them, waiting to see how the galaxy would react to humanity's existence. Back in the council chamber, Elder Dawn spoke again. "The humans request diplomatic recognition and peaceful contact. They do not seek war. Despite being the most efficient predators we have ever encountered, they wish to join the galactic community as equals." "Equals?" a counselor scoffed. "They're primitives with projectile weapons." "Primitives?" Gray challenged. "They detected our cloaked ship, surrounded us without us noticing, and disabled our advanced weapons with simple tactics, all while giving us every chance to surrender peacefully." The security chief studied the human military data with growing concern. "Their warfare doctrine. They don't fight like predators. They fight like hunting packs, coordinating over vast distances. Because humans never hunted alone." Dr. Adams explained through the communication link. "We worked in groups, shared information, planned ahead. We became social hunters, and that made us even deadlier." Elder Dawn raised her crystalline arms for silence. "The humans have proven they could be dangerous enemies, but they choose to be peaceful neighbors. They ask only for respect and equal treatment under galactic law." "And if we refuse?" someone called out. "Then we would be fools," Gray answered. "Humans don't give up. They would keep pushing, keep trying, keep advancing until they achieve their goals. It's their nature. They don't know how to stop." The council chamber grew quiet as this truth sank in. They faced a species that had evolved the most terrifying trait of all: absolute, unrelenting persistence. "I propose," Elder Dawn announced, "that we welcome humanity into the Federation. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Their persistence could help us solve problems we've struggled with for millennia." Back on Earth, Admiral Stone smiled as the council began voting. "They're starting to understand," he said to the assembled leaders. "Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons. It's our refusal to give up," Dr. Adams finished. "No matter the challenge, no matter the distance, no matter the odds, we keep going," they said together, as the council's vote turned overwhelmingly in humanity's favor. 1 year after Earth's first contact with the Galactic Federation, the changes in galactic society were remarkable. At the Federation's Central Space Station, humans walked confidently among alien species twice their size, earning respectful nods from even the most fearsome predators. Admiral Stone stood at a viewing window, watching ships from 100 worlds dock and depart. Beside him, Master Hunter Gray had become Earth's first alien ambassador. "Your people have changed everything," Gray said, his outer membrane shifting with colors of admiration. "Not through force, but through persistence." Below them, in the station's main training area, Jack led classes teaching human hunting techniques to alien military units. Many species had requested training in Earth's unique combat methods. "Look at them," Dr. Adams said, joining them at the window. "A year ago, they thought we were prey animals. Now they're learning our ways." In the training room, Jack demonstrated human throwing techniques. The alien soldiers watched in amazement as he hit targets with perfect accuracy. No other species had evolved such precise throwing abilities. "That's the 10th request this month for human peacekeeping forces," Admiral Stone said, checking his tablet. "Seems everyone wants Earth's persistence hunters to help maintain order." Gray's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. "Because you understand something no other species does, the difference between winning a fight and solving a problem." The station's main screen showed news from across the galaxy. Human exploration teams were helping survey dangerous worlds. Earth's military advisors were teaching alien forces how to plan long-term operations. Human medical researchers were sharing their knowledge of endurance and recovery. "The hunting guild has completely changed," Gray continued. "No more trophy hunting. Now we study and preserve species, using methods learned from Earth's conservation experts." In another part of the station, human scientists worked with alien researchers. Their persistence in solving problems had already led to breakthroughs in space travel and medicine. "You've taught us that true strength isn't in having the deadliest weapons," Gray said. "It's in never giving up until you find a solution." Dr. Adams smiled. "And you've taught us that we're not alone in the universe, that there's a whole galaxy of different species we can learn from." A group of alien children passed by, listening to a human teacher explain Earth's history. They were especially fascinated by stories of how humans had survived ice ages and extinctions through sheer determination. "Your reputation has spread," Gray noted. "Now when species face challenges, they say be like the humans. Keep going until you succeed." Admiral Stone checked another report. "The Federation's mapping team wants more human explorers. Says we have a natural talent for finding safe paths through dangerous territories." "Of course you do," Gray replied. "Your ancestors had to track prey across entire continents. The galaxy is just a bigger hunting ground." The station's alerts chimed softly as a new ship docked. More human diplomats arrived, ready to help solve conflicts across the galaxy. Their reputation for patient, persistent negotiation had made them excellent mediators. "Hard to believe you once thought we were prey," Jack said, joining them after his training session. Gray's membrane rippled with embarrassment. "The greatest mistake of my hunting career became the greatest discovery in Federation history." They watched Earth's first starship dock at the station. Built with a mixture of human innovation and alien technology, it represented humanity's first step into deep space exploration. "We're not the strongest species," Dr. Adams said, "or the fastest, or the most technologically advanced. But we never stopped trying to be better." Admiral Stone nodded. "That's the real lesson here. Every species has its strengths. Ours is simply refusing to give up." "The galaxy needed that lesson," Gray said. "We had become complacent, relying too much on natural weapons and advanced technology. You taught us the value of persistence." As the sun of a distant star set behind the station, humans and aliens worked together, each learning from the other. The galaxy had found its peacekeepers, its problem solvers, its persistent hunters, and humanity had found its place among the stars.